I started feeling some discomfort. The first time was 5 years ago. It was early spring in April. Just my back started to ache on and off, and I was trying to get some physical therapy to strengthen it, and it started to feel better. And then it started to feel worse, and I was at a Sweet 16 in a firehouse, and the fire trucks were driving by, and my son at the time, I believe he was 2 or 3, he went to go after the fire trucks, and I jumped out of my seat and I felt a pop in my back. At the time I didn't feel pain, I just felt this pop. We went about our evening and got into the car, we drove home. When I walked in the house, I went from feeling no pain to excruciating pain. I was on the floor in tears, just not really knowing what to do. The pain really affected my life at home with my children. In fact, my son he was actually 2 at the time, and I could not lift him. I actually taught him to climb on the changing table so that I could change his diaper. I couldn't get on the floor and play with my children. Driving them to their activities was impossible. The pain was just too much. I could only either lie down or walk and pace, but I could not play with my kids. I tried physical therapy for a couple of weeks. It started to get better, then it got worse. It was just back and forth. We really just could not get over this wall that we were hitting. So my husband called Dr. Implicito's office, and the pain at that point was just so horrific. I could barely take a deep breath. My husband explained the situation, and his office told him they would call him back, and they reached Dr. Implicito, and he made arrangements to come home. He was coming home that following week, but he came home a little early so that he could see me as soon as possible and schedule an MRI, and he was just a lifesaver for me at that point. My sense of humor is what gets me through these things, and Dr. Implicito shared the same sense of humor, and he just made me feel comfortable. As soon as I walked in the door, I wasn't afraid.
So Joan underwent a 2-level microdiscectomy procedure. The microdiscectomy procedure has been around for many years. However, the modern techniques and the modern optics and tools we have at our disposal in the operating room allow this procedure to be done truly in a minimally invasive fashion. That is through very, very small incisions with the aid of a microscope. It is because this approach is now commonplace in the United States, but in particular in my operating room, that we can get patients back to their activities whenever possible and as soon as possible. In years past, approaches to treat herniated discs involved large incisions with a great deal of muscle dissection and collateral damage, if you will. Minimally invasive techniques, on the contrary, are performed through small incisions, minimizing muscle disruption, ligament disruption, and allowing faster healing and a faster and more complete return to activities.
After I woke up from surgery, I was pretty surprised that I was laying on my back. I remember thinking, why am I on my back? Don't they realize I just had this surgery? And then I realized, oh my gosh, I am not in pain. I don't feel any pain in my back. And I had horrific pain going down the leg. That was gone, everything, all the pain was gone. So I said, well, let's see if we can get up. And I got up, I got dressed, and I went out into the hallway, and I told the nurse I was ready to go home. So I was very, very happy about that. I went back to work, I would say probably a week or so later. Dr. Implicito was very comforting at a very frightening point in my life. I was, as I said, I was in pain, I was nervous. I went into his office, and he made me feel very comfortable with the surgery, with the recovery. His staff was very accommodating. They were very kind to both my husband and I. And I am just very grateful to have my life back. And, I think we all live in fear when it comes to any type of procedure, but we need to have more doctors like Dr. Implicito. We need to get the information and take care of ourselves and get our lives back. And that's what Dr. Implicito and his staff did for me.